Cardone has really changed my life.
Actually, to give me the excitement just to keep pushing forward.
She has an enormous humor and warmth, and I was also very touched. It was just very, very inspirational.
She's changed the example of what it means to be a feminist.
Watching her evolve as a woman from the day that I started following her, it makes me believe that we can have it all.
There is no reason anyone can't have what we have. I want to see everyone succeed. If everyone lived up to their full potential and succeeded, imagine the contribution to the planet. It could be a renaissance on Earth.
Well, thank you so much, Elena, for being here with me today. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you all around how to build your empire. I have my copy of your book, which literally is like my lifeline. I refer it to everyone. So in our conversation today, we're going to talk all about how you kind of came up with the concept of build an empire. So I would love to start there and just really know, how did you get this idea and how did you formulate it into a book for all of us to be successful by reading and taking action from what's in here?
Oh, wow. Okay. There's a lot of questions in there. First, I'd like to start off by saying thank you so much for having me be a part of your show and on today and here with your group of women. It's so exciting. Okay. So build an empire. The concept was born out of the 2008 economic collapse that my husband and I underwent. We went through just like so many others in 2008. And we were on the verge of losing everything, like everything that could go wrong did go wrong in 2008 for us. So it was a make break point for us. We were either going to, that was it, we were done, or we had to rework our entire structure and change our operating basis to set us up for the future. And we said at that time that, which looked nothing like the ideal scene that we're living now. It looked nothing like that at that time. So, but we did make a vow that if we ever did end up achieving some of the targets and goals that we had set out for at that time, that we would be transparent. And certainly Grant, by releasing all of its products, wants to help fast track everybody else's way to success. So the book Build an Empire was my story of what I did specifically behind the scenes in order to be the woman beside the man, behind the man, however you want to say it, and show you how we did it as a team in order for all the others to help fast track their way to success. So Build an Empire is a concept for big think, for out of the box, out of the ordinary, out of the norm. Are you willing to think as big as in terms of empire? Are you willing to think in terms of that big in order to have the audacity and the guts to go after your dreams and goals? If so, this book can help you in order to get there. So that's how we came up with the book, and that's really the idea. So the concepts really come out of an empire, all the way from king, queen, royal court, how to protect yourself, how to grow, how to expand, how to operate in a unit in order to achieve those heightened levels of success. Because let's face it, an empire isn't a real substantial empire unless it has tremendous amount of success, not just in a monetary sense, but also it has to have success and courage and purpose and dignity and honor and people. So this book was really written as a means to help others learn from our mistakes, and then also maybe fast track your way to avoiding some of the mistakes that we made, and then benefiting from the things that we did right.
I love that. I mean, I read the book myself, and you definitely have really tailored specific chapters and real things that people can do. I think I love that you touched on it. You know, you took what you learned through this experience with Grant, everything that happened, and then made something for us all to kind of take action on. So I wanted to know, how does someone find their purpose? Because you do talk a lot about purpose in your book. Like, that to me seems to be a real important piece of your empire.
Yeah, it is a very important piece of the empire. If you don't have a purpose, you don't really have a reason to dig in and continue every single day. Without a real purpose, you can make decisions that could ultimately seek to the demise of your empire. It's the focal point of everything that Grant and I do, which is our purpose. And, you know, a lot of people get hung up on this point. Maybe they're young, maybe they just don't know for whatever reason. Oh, I don't have my purpose. Well, you don't have to have the purpose that you're going to have for the rest of your life. In 2008, when we were under that economic collapse and the verge of losing it all, my purpose at that point was to survive. My purpose was for Grant and I to get back on our financial feet. And that was it. There was no, oh, I want to, you know, restore the value of women to society. Oh, I want to make couples cool again. Like all these purposes that I've now evolved into. At that time, it was just about us and nobody else. Because that was it. That was all I could do at that point. That's where I had been, you know, quote unquote, kind of reduced down to. So the purpose is whatever the purpose is that you can come up with that can get you through the next week, the next month, until eventually you get more focused and more clear and more certain. And you can start to see, you know what, these are my strengths. This is what I can actually do. This is where, you know, people can look at me to be an opinion leader. I'm going to go off in this direction. And until you evolve and find yourself, like it's taken me, you know, 12, 13 years to kind of come up with, you know, this is who I am. I want financial literacy for everyone. And therefore I back everything that my husband does because he provides that for people. I want to make couples cool. I experienced where I think society and the media make it cool to be all alone, which is fine. I'm not knocking it. However, I feel like there's this stigma on already hard enough relationships about how uncool they are. And, you know, if they don't make you happy at the first instant, you get to be out of there. You can do everything on your own. Well, as my personal conscience, you know, I think families are important. I think they are stable and, you know, a good foundation for society. And I believe they should be protected. So then that evolved into a purpose of mine. Like, no, I'm going to stand up against that and show, you know, in spite of all the difficulties, that you can still have a loving and trusting marriage that can produce heightened levels of success with each other. So I evolved into those. But yeah, purpose is, you got that is the basic foundation in which to build an empire upon.
Amazing. So find your basic purpose, but be open to it evolving as you evolve. It's really
exactly. Like, don't get so stressed out that it has to be the one for the lifetime that you eventually give up and just say, oh, I don't have a purpose. Like, find something. What is it? You know, and the purpose shouldn't be something like a goal or a target or a reward. Like, oh, my goal is, you know, I don't know, like to buy my parents a house. I mean, maybe that could be it at first, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, but something that's really going to grab. I mean, maybe for some that is it. Maybe you will wake up every day for your parents. Maybe you will fight or make the extra phone call to buy the parents a house. But find whatever it is for you that gets you hooked into what fires and fuels you.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I feel like even in my own life, it's like if you try to take someone else's purpose or mold into something that isn't super aligned, it really just gets messy or never works out. So absolutely love that you really broke that down for us. And I'm sure everyone who's watching is totally going to appreciate that. And I really admire you and Grant for being, I know Corey and I, so if everyone's watching, that's my fiance, we've always really looked up to you guys like as mentors, because you have worked together and you're very open about, you know, what has worked for you, what hasn't, and are super transparent in helping other couples thrive. So I want to know, really, like, what do you and Grant do to get on the same page? And even Sabrina and Scarlett, you guys really act as this cohesive unit and you have each other's back. And I know more people need that in their lives, especially right now with everything going on in the world.
So how we get on the same page is, again, we come to a mutual understanding as to who we are as a couple and who we are as a family. So we know our mission and our purpose. You know, we want to make a difference for the better. We want to help people. And so the kids have been indoctrinated into our mission. Like, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. And then we allow them to find their own ways in which they can contribute and give them the opportunity to be a part of that, which of course they want to, because it's a noble and it's a great mission. I mean, unless you're like an evil person, who wouldn't want to do that? So we give the kids an opportunity to contribute and be a part of it, and they're rewarded for that. And they're honored and respected for their role, even if it's something as simple as, hey, you're going to stay home and allow us to be on the road and focused on helping people, because that's what we do. That's our mission. And you're going to stay home and like do well, so that my attention and your father's attention when we're on the road isn't worried about you having, you know, whatever it may be, fights, accidents, sicknesses, you know, whatever it is. So every time they're healthy and productive and we can focus, like, that's a very big contribution that they gave to us. And that doesn't go unappreciated. And so they understand that they're little being, you know, little people, but they're respected and valued members of our family. So it starts with that, really involving them and not, you know, certainly not giving them adult rights before they've earned it, but treating them with enough respect to be able to recognize who they are in the future and let them contribute and be with a purpose.
Yes. So like they really have their own exchange with you guys and your group as a family. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're not treated like children. They're treated like that they can make a difference too. And we allow them, and fortunately we have an incredible group of fans that allow us to include them so they can speak at the 10X Growth Conference or all the tours that we go on, and they write their own speeches and they rehearse them and they practice them, and, you know, they agonize over them. They get nervous just like we do, you know, and yet they do it anyway. So, you know, we give them the forum to be themselves. And fortunately we have the audience that allows them to experiment with themselves coming into their own as well.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts actually at GrowthCon, is when they come on stage, because I feel like it actually reminds adults, like, obviously, I know you talk a lot about, you know, wins and losses, right? And sometimes adults, we get rigid, or we're like, oh, I can't do that. And then you see, you know, Sabrina or Scarlett come on stage and drop this like amazing golden nugget of inspiration. And the whole audience is literally like, oh, wow. Like,
I know
that, like, I should be able to do that. You know, it's such a source of fire. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Okay, so one thing in your book, you really talk about the royal court. So knowing who you can trust in your environment and knowing who has your back and is quite genuine. So I want to know, what do you do to, you know, find the right people to surround you?
Again, I'm going to go back to this purpose thing, which is an epiphany that I recently had. Actually, it goes far beyond just what you want for yourself, but even as a friend, Because like I said, an empire is a mindset of thinking differently and outside of the box. And so in that, I am now challenging all of the things that I thought are supposed to be a certain way that I just never questioned because I never had any thought otherwise. And friendship came up as that when I was looking at that. Like I always assumed, especially in my 20s, that I needed to have friends because that's just what you do. You need to have friends. Everyone knows you need to have friends. And so I had a lot of friends and what do you do with friends? Like you go out to dinners, you go out to bars or drink, you commiserate and you seek advice from them, you have lunches, and that was it. And I thought that's really what a friend is. But now I look at, well, what is really the purpose of a friend? Because that seemed like a whole lot of loaf time. It seemed like a whole lot of every time I confided in them, I'm now dealing with all their confusions as well. They mean well, but they have confusions that now they've added onto my plate that become more confused.
So true.
So I look at, you say, how do I find the people? I look at what is the purpose? Why do I have this person in my life? Like, what do I get out of it? And what can I give? So what is the purpose? Like for me, I had to really look at, why do I need a friend right now? Right now, at this unit of time in my life, the only friends I really need are the friends that are going to protect me, that are not going to hear ill will of me, that will set somebody straight if they threaten to gossip about me, my family, whatnot. Like those are who I want as friends and allies.
That's what I think makes you so unique too as a person, because you're willing to just be like, this is what I'm going for. This is what's worked for me. And this allows you to get to that high level that a lot of people don't reach because you get caught up in this drama, really, right? So
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, because it really is, it does happen, right? Like, there was an occurrence the other day, and you see that.
I'm not 20 anymore. I'm mid 40s. I've been married for 17 years. I have 2 kids. So, I have experience now. And that's the thing that I want to help fast track other people. I want them to be aware of, like you have to be aware of the real deal. And this isn't an opinion. This is just truth. If you have a goal, a target, a mission that you want to achieve, and you write it down on paper and you think it's going to take X amount of time to get there, you might be accurate in your assessment of it taking 2 years, 5 years, 10 years to hit that target. Mm-hmm. But what you have to account for, which is what I learned, is that, which most people don't account for. You're saying, if I did everything right in an ideal world, I could hit that target at that time. But you're not taking into account that, okay, if the goal and the achievable target that you had was 2 years, mm-hmm. but now you add in that you got distracted by this argument, you now had to go be involved in this lawsuit because you let that person in because you didn't, you weren't as strict as I am, let's say. You have a fight with your husband. Okay, now you got to sort out these things with the kids. That is all time away from the dedicated time to hitting your target in 2 years. So if you want to do all of that, fine. Understand that you have to add time now.
So you recently started, this is a good segue, because I feel like through this conversation, I'm like, I could talk to you forever, honestly, because you just have so much value and information, but you've started 10X Ladies. So you do these weekly calls, which are so inspiring. Anyone can come. So I really just wanted to share with our audience today, like the opportunity to join on your 10X Ladies call. What's going on there? What are you doing with that? If you can tell us a little bit more, I feel like that would be like an awesome place to end this amazing conversation with you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. 10X Ladies, I actually started because I'm a huge fan of my husband, Grant Cardone. And, I believe in his message. I believe in his products, his materials. I've seen millions of people win from it from around the world. And I feel like, this is my analysis, but
I feel like my husband is sort of a man's man, and a lot of women they get and understand Grant. But I feel like there's a portion of women out there that might not gravitate toward Grant because he is and does come across very strong, very abrasive, very just not, their acquired taste. Like for me, I did not get Grant for the first 13 months of knowing him. I wanted nothing to do with him. He was not my cup of tea. So I came up with 10X Ladies as a vehicle to be able to expose the women that would not gravitate toward Grant. They could gravitate toward me, get my message, but then I could also then turn them on to Grant's materials that could then in return help them flourish and prosper more in their businesses and whatnot in life. And so that's how I started 10X Ladies. Have a great group of women around the world. So every Wednesday night, I do a free call, a networking call, and we just take up different topics. Sometimes I'll do like, what's the purpose of a friend, or 3 biggest mistakes we made, or 3 biggest things we did right, or whatever. And we just discuss it, talk over it. I assign some homework projects from time to time that you have a choice to or not to participate in. But it's a phenomenal group. Anyone can join. It's free. It's called 10xladies.com/network. I'd love to have you in. You just sign up free, and then we send you the Zoom call, and then you can meet other like-minded Empire-S type women there to be like your friend. That's what I told my group last couple nights ago on Wednesday. I said, my vision of what friends are is I don't really go out to dinners anymore. That's not really every blue moon. Mm-hmm. But my new vision of my friends are who I can meet with every Wednesday, where I can hold myself accountable and I can check in with you guys, and we can be there for each other, to inspire each other to be strong enough to be leaders in the community. And so I said, you are my friends. Y'all are my friends. Because we don't physically hang out other than this phone call does not make us friends. Like, you are my friends. And I'm fulfilled from my friends. So if you need a friend, you want friends who truly support you, we'd love to have you.
That's amazing. I mean, it's a free network. The content is it's worth so much. So I feel like everyone here at this event today should definitely sign up for Elena's 10X Ladies. We will share that information as well with everyone who purchased a ticket to this event. Thank you so much, Elena, for this inspiring conversation. I can't wait to see you on one of your 10X Ladies call, and we really appreciate you being here and sharing more about Build an Empire.
Oh, absolutely. And for your ladies, if they want this book for free, for your ladies at your event, you can go to elenacardone.com/empire, and I'll give you the book for free, only because you know people. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.